Good morning, YouTube. Hope everyone's having a great day out there. Welcome to another episode of Life of Brian. I am going to run an errand, and I, of course, decided to take my 1994 Mazda RX-7. As I'm sure you guys who have followed the channel know that I just recently got this car back after it was in the shop for about 7 to 8 months. So any excuse, any reason whatsoever for me to take this car out, I will take that opportunity in a heartbeat. This car is such a blast to drive. My only concern is if when I turn on the car in the morning, will it start up or will the engine explode and leave me stranded? But those concerns aside, the car is a blast, and yeah, looking forward to taking it out right now, and hopefully I get there. So I've gotten a few requests, guys, to do a driving video with the car. So I thought, running this errand right now would be a great opportunity to do that. What is it like to drive a FD or a third generation RX-7? Well, obviously, you have the infamous Wankel rotary engine under the hood. And I'm not going to go into all the specs and quirks and technical jargon related to the rotary. I'm sure you guys already know that, or you can definitely find that on YouTube. But given my past, my very recent ownership experience with this car, and specifically the fact that within a few weeks of me getting the car last June, the car had to go into a shop for an engine rebuild, or basically a brand new engine. I'm a little bit nervous driving this car, to be quite honest with you guys. The Wankel makes great sounds. It's a small engine. I think it's 1.3 liters, if I'm not mistaken. But there's two turbos. I think it puts out 255 horsepower, and again, for a car this light, that's pretty good, weight to power ratio. But so yeah, the engine makes just great sounds. You can hear it coming a mile away. When my friend Andy dropped off the car to me the other day, I literally sounded like a mile away. I could hear him coming. But yeah, it's a different kind of sound and rumble and exhaust note from my Maserati or my SVR, to be sure, but no less enjoyable. And all reliability concerns and issues aside, which of course that fear is real. I've had just a blast driving this car so far. It's very similar, but better than my Miata. I had a Miata for a while, and when I was doing research into whether or not to get the car, and buyer's guides and pros, cons, etc., what makes the Miata such a fun car is obviously it's not very powerful, it's not very fast, but it's just or at least the earlier generations. I don't know about the later generations. I haven't driven one. I think mine was a 2000. It was a mid 2000 one. I think it was 2006, 2008, something like that. But or I should maybe a little bit later than that. But anywho, it was the smiling face generation. If that rings a bell to anyone. But anywho, what makes the Miata made the Miata such a fun car, I believe it's still the best selling sports car of all time, was its weight, its nimbleness, how quick it felt. Even though I don't even remember what the horsepower, but I believe it's certainly less than 200. But it's such an engaging car to drive. The handling's amazing. I think the creator, the developer of the car, described it. Obviously, I don't speak Japanese, so I don't know what the Japanese saying is, but I think it's horse and rider. Kind of the feeling of just being completely linked and connected to the vehicle, and being able to control it so precisely, is what makes the Miata such a great car. And I feel that same way in this RX-7. It's just I don't want to say go-kart because everyone always describes cars that are, you know, oh, it has a go-kart feel or that has a go-kart feel. I don't know if this has a go-kart feel. This doesn't have as much of a go-kart feel as my 360 Modena, NSX, slightly, but it's just something about this car. I think it's just because it's such a small car, it's such a light car, and again, you have more than sufficient power with the turbos with the rotary, that it's kind of like I want to say like a mini rocket ship almost. You don't even realize kind of how fast you're going. And again, it's not that you're breaking like speed limits left or right and that sort of deal, but it's just, it's a very peppy car. And this the shifter is amazing. The shifter is definitely top three, certainly top five that I own or I've ever driven. And of course, you hear the whine of the Wankel as you're getting the RPMs up. Which again, you have to keep your RPMs high. There's that old saying: a red line a day keeps the mechanic away for these rotaries. But in terms of the feeling I get, the connection with the car through the steering wheel, the handling, it's certainly comparable to my NSX, similar to my Lotus Evora GT. I mean, Lotus makes great handling cars as well, as you guys all know. But in terms of handling, feedback, this car is so much better than most of my cars, even supercars included. Certainly in terms of the JDMs I own, the Supra, the 300ZX, 3000 GT, the SVX, none of those can hold a candle to this car. The NSX is really kind of the only other vehicle in that class or that genre that I own that is in any way comparable to the RX-7. Just got another thumbs up there from the driver out there. You get a lot of attention driving this car. You get a lot of attention from people in all walks of life, all types of cars. I've had a couple of people in a McLaren and a Lamborghini come by and slow down and take a photo or give me a thumbs up. Young, old, men, women, doesn't matter. This car is it's such a beautiful car. It's very eye-catching, and it's not because you have some massive wing or front bumper lip or side skirts or something just wild and crazy. It's not a loud, obnoxious color. It doesn't have a big racing stripe. I mean, my car is red, which I think the RX-7 looks amazing in red and black for that matter. But it's just the lines, the curves, the silhouette, the profile of this vehicle. I think it's certainly the most beautiful car I own, and not to be boastful, but I think I have a handful of cars that I would personally say are beautiful. Like my 4GT, the NSX, obviously. I think even the McLaren 12C is it's a beautiful car, and I think even that vehicle will kind of stand the test of time in terms of being appreciated for its simple, beautiful design. But this RX-7 is just it's in a different class, guys. And when you're driving down the road, you see modern cars, or obviously you see cars even of this age, which again is a mid-90s car. It stands out. It's kind of like, in a way, it was ahead of its time, but not in respect to it's not futuristic looking or anything, right? But it's like a timeless design. I guess that's what I'm trying to say, guys. It's a timeless design that no matter what age, what era, I think anyone looking at this car will say, man, that's a beautiful car. And driving this car, guys, is just such a thrill. Of course, I'm constantly checking my engine temperature, my checking my gauges here, making sure nothing is starting to spike, go nuts, any weird sounds. Which again is the concern with this car. I remember when I actually bought the car, the salesman was like, "Hey, it's a beautiful car." Of course, they didn't let me know about the engine issue, but you know, the guy asked me, "Hey, are you going to use this as a daily driver?" And the way he kind of asked it made me pause, like, well, I don't know anyone, quite honestly, who would be daily driving a car like this, but just kind of the way he asked me made me kind of think, well, are you saying this should not be daily driven or driven regularly for any reason? If that's the case, why? Um, but I guess maybe he knew about the little engine issue that was not known to me at that time. But what's done is done. I love the fact that these come with, or mine came. I think this is I don't know if it's the touring package, guys. It's not the base. It's either the touring package or a package above that, or a different package. But this has the sunroof, and I love it because you don't get super hot. It actually blocks out a lot of the sunlight, but you get natural light into the cabin, which unlike my SVR, which feels quite honestly most of the time pretty claustrophobic. I never get that feeling in this car, even though it is a small car, no doubt. And it's a comfortable place to be, guys. I mean, the leather seats, they're not racing seats or cargo bucket seats. They're not aggressive. You don't get a ton of bolstering, but they're very comfortable. My back's not hurting me like a lot of my cars do, supercars or no supercars. I'm about 5'10", so I have a pretty good headspace. Which speaking of headspace, I was driving my 3000 GT the other day, and of course that car is ginormous compared to this one, and my head is like just right up against the liner on the roof every single time. But this car is small, but it doesn't feel small, except in the good ways, if that makes sense. It feels small in terms of like handling and precision and nimbleness and quickness and getting the car to do exactly what you want to do. But in terms of actually being in the cabin and not having like your leg, scrunched up against the door, or your knee touching your stomach, it doesn't feel small at all. The driving position is perfect. The interior, like I made in my previous video, it's geared towards you, a la the Supra, like the S2K. I think it's really cool. You kind of feel kind of wrapped and enveloped in a cockpit in this car. So we are just getting to my destination, guys, and getting out of the car here. But I wanted to do just a quick kind of video driving the car, letting you guys get a sense of some of the incredible audible, visual traits of the car that make this such a blast to drive, such an enjoyable car to own and drive. And I'll be doing a lot more videos down the road, guys. I just want to do a quick one because I've gotten a handful of requests to do a driving video. And in short, guys, I love driving this car. Really, there's zero drawbacks from the standpoint of comfort, livability, or whatever. Like the interior, the seating position, the headroom, seating position, the shifter, handling, all that stuff is fantastic with this car. The only the only knock, and it's a big knock, my concern with this car is the reliability. That wankle that's whining in the background there. It's just again, my friend Andy is the best mechanic I know. Works on almost all my cars. He's amazing. So from a work quality standpoint, I'm not concerned in that regard. But I kind of feel like the wankle is it was not meant to be reliable, But I'm gonna do what I can do the premix, do the oil checks quite frequently, red line a day, all those things that I can do to try to preserve and maintain the engine as best as I can. So I will definitely be putting out more content for you guys on this car, but hope you guys enjoy the video. Please give the video a thumbs up, leave a comment below, like and subscribe. Hope to catch you guys on the next video. Take care. Bye-bye. Just walked outside after finishing my errand, guys, and I saw this Miata parked up right next to the RX-7, which is kind of cool, actually. The older and younger brother, if you will, perhaps.